What's up guys, this is Simply5 here, and today I wanted to make a little video, sort of highlighting some Easter eggs and tips, tricks, and general appreciation for the first mission in Halo 3, Sierra 117. So starting off in this first arena, there's not any Easter eggs or anything too special here, but I always thought this was a beautiful part of the mission. You can see the door that Master Chief used to hang on to as he jumped out of the Forerunner Dreadnought. You can also see sort of all these little light beams coming through trees and even some broken branches from where his door came crashing down. I always appreciated details like this because it highlighted how much effort they put into the game, especially this early on.
Jump! Stretch those
Another
legs,
thing I really
Spartan.
appreciated about this mission is how it highlighted the interactability of the environment. I mean, you've got all these little plants here that you can actually interact with when you jump into them, like these vines. Little plants on the ground too, like these big tall ferns and also smaller ferns later on. It's a lot of stuff going on here that, while it doesn't impact gameplay, it definitely does make the whole world feel a lot more immersive. I also always liked this little waterfall that Johnson and his Marines sort of climb up. Then I know General He just did a video a few days ago about where Johnson and his Marines go, and to no one's surprise, they just despawn after this rather than going some secret little area of the mission, but it's always little things like that that make you feel like you're part of a world rather than just there. Another part that I wanted to highlight is before you have your first encounter with this brute and his little grunt minions, if you're trying to speedrun this mission, a quick little trick is to, before you do anything else, jump up to this rock here and do a double jump against that little crack. You can actually walk up and over here, and if you do it early enough, you won't get detected like I did here. But if you do it early enough, you can sneak all the way around here and skip the encounter entirely, and you'll actually despawn the two phantoms that show up after you kill the initial wave of enemies. Here, I wasn't trying to do a speedrun or anything special, so I just figured I'd come up and kill this guy. Another thing I appreciate about this mission is how well it sets up the rest of the game. You get introduced to the aliens as if they're completely new to you, even if you're a returning Halo player or brand new. This is a fantastic first mission. You see how the dropships work and how they can drop off enemies and then fly away rather than enemies just either being there or spawning in off screen. It really adds to the world building rather than just being a bland, oh, the enemies are in that base over there. Most games seem to follow that type of model. The next Easter egg in this mission is just over here, after you kill the first wave of enemies from the first Phantom, and it's a skull. Now this skull is actually the blind skull, which once you pick up it will unlock in the main menu, and you can activate it, which would remove your HUD in campaign. I always appreciated this skybox. I think it's one of the most beautiful ones in all of Halo, not just Halo 3. You've got these massive storm clouds overhead, Mount Kilimanjaro in the background, and these little plumes of smoke from other areas where the Covenant has already attacked. Another detail that I really appreciate that's really hard to notice is you can see the storm from the rest of the game. Well, not the rest of the game, but the future missions off in the distance. Very active and sort of foreboding, but if you turn around you can see that there's an even larger storm right on top of you, and it really gives you the encouragement you need to just kind of keep pushing, and gives you a sense of urgency that really carries through to the rest of the game and helps you understand why you're here. So on to the next arena. You got a lot of different things going on here. You got sleeping grunts, so you could approach this in a very stealthy way. Typically I started off with a bang and just try to kill as many as I can with that explosion there. On Legendary, it's typically better to be safer, and there's also some carbines on the box I just ran past on higher difficulties. Once again, I was just trying to have fun with this mission, so I wasn't doing anything too difficult. But there's a lot of little things in this forest that I think are neat. It's a beautiful forest, actually, but there's not a tremendous amount of Easter eggs or anything like that, although there is one that I'll show you. So after you defeat all the enemies in this arena, if you turn around and head back, you could do it earlier, but it's usually easier once you get everything cleared out. You can walk back to this rock right here, and you can find this rock because there are two jackals that were up on that ledge right there. And if you just go ahead and jump up on this branch, and then between these two, turn around, and then you jump up one more branch. It's easier to see with your flashlight on, but you can see a little tree carving. That's MF. Now these tree carvings were placed here by developers most likely as a personal Easter egg for people important to them in their own lives, though they're still cool to find and know that they're here. And after that arena, you move on and you'll see a brute interrogating a marine. Typically, I try to save him. I mean, why wouldn't you? Actually, I normally try to stick the brute on higher difficulties just to get him out of the way, and normally that kills your teammate, but who cares? Anyway, so now we move on to the next little Easter egg, and just up this ridge, after you kill that brute, if you jump into this tree and just look up a little bit, you'll see another tree carving, ML 71695. And after that, you can keep moving. On higher difficulties, you'll encounter some grunts in here, but on normal, you don't seem to see anything. But this is actually the first spot that the battle rifle appears in the game, unless you jump into multiplayer first. So this is most people's first interaction with the battle rifle in Halo 3, and I think that's pretty neat. They give you a nice, basic formation there to mess around with, but nothing too hard, just to get a feel for the weapon. Now after that, you can move on out here, and if you take a little left here, you'll find some battle rifle ammo, and some grenades, and more battle rifle ammo down here. They really start pushing the battle rifle at this point here. In the next arena, this is where Johnson's Pelican gets shut down. Some Banshees fly in, although they don't ever engage you. I really like this little part of the Hydrologic Plant, or at least the first part of the Hydrologic Plant, but on Legendary you gotta be careful, there's some Jackal snipers out there. But if you look up in that tree right there, you'll find a Monkeyman up in the tree. Not really sure why he's there, but I mean, he's kinda cool, right? So on the Hydrologic Plant, there's not a whole lot to be said about it. I mean, it's a pretty generic play space, although I always liked this little dam down over here. I don't know why, I just thought it was a neat little detail where you can see water levels on one side being a lot higher than the other side. One other unique thing about this mission that you probably wouldn't notice otherwise is if you happen to fall or jump into the water, Spartans can swim here. I'm not sure what's so different about this from any other place, but for some reason, Spartans can survive and thrive just fine down here with the fish and all the junk. There's actually a surprising amount of detail down here too. I'm not sure if Bungie was expecting people to try to jump down here and explore, but it's a lot more detailed than you really would have expected for something like this. Even like little trash and stuff down there. But if you're trying to speedrun, you jump out into the water before you engage anyone else, and if you run straight to that dam I showed you earlier, then you can actually grenade jump up, skipping pretty much every engagement here. Although you'll want to be careful because on Legendary there's a Jackal sniper that spawns just up there, and you'll want to take him out before he gets you because he won't hesitate to blast your head off. Now moving on to the Jackal Forest. This is a very infuriating part on Legendary for most people, though if you move slowly, then you'll probably be fine. There are two little Easter eggs in here, and the first one is actually right close to that Jackal I just killed. So after you kill everything, if you go back to where he was about, he's on the branch on the upper part of the screen. If you jump down to this branch right below him, you'll see the final tree carving, Sam plus Grady, Heart Dad. And before you proceed with the mission, if you come all the way back over here, and follow this path that I'm running on right now, then you will find the second little monkey caveman Easter egg. And I should have mentioned this before, but if you shot the first one, you should get an achievement, and if you shoot or look at these ones, you should also get another achievement. Now, another speedrunning trick is right here. If you run up this cliff and grenade jump / slide jump, you can actually catch up with Johnson before he gets captured by those brutes. Now, though, you can't really save him because he runs through this cave, and then him and his marine buddy will despawn and go to the next part of the mission. But that'll definitely save you some time with speedrunning, although it is a very difficult trick to pull off. But let's say you want to just play the mission normally, and jump down here. There's this little cubby down here that I always thought was kind of cool, and I don't know why, just always noticed it. You come down here, there's a bunch of enemies. I've already cleared them out at this point in the video, but just a nice little arena, nothing too special, although there are snipers in here. But there is one cool thing, and it's you can find Johnson's crashed Pelican. He's got plenty of ammo and supplies down there. I'm not really sure where these boxes came from, because it doesn't look like they were packed into the Pelican or anything, but you can find a sniper rifle, some battle rifle ammo, and another sniper rifle just over that box. Another cool thing is that for some reason the lighting freaks out with this Pelican. You can see from the outside it looks untextured and kind of strange, but once you get in, the textures look fine, doesn't look bland or broken at all. But from the outside it definitely is breaking the lighting engine for Halo 3. So moving on into the next arena, this is one of my favorite arenas in all of the Halo campaigns because there's so many ways to approach it and it's laid out so well. So you can actually shoot that brute before this cutscene ends if you skip it. The animations will still play, but you can't kill him before he kicks Johnson into the building. Now, if you're playing on Legendary, you probably don't want to try to do what I'm doing here because you'll die real quick. You usually want to just target the snipers. There's some snipers across the way, and then another one up at the top right of my screen right now on that building. But for the most part, you have to engage these guys. There isn't an easy stealth way through here. You really just have to engage them all full force. Now this level is absolutely beautiful, this little arena, and it offers you many different ways to approach it. You can charge down the middle and attack everything head on, full force, or you can kind of sneak underneath and hope they don't spot you. You can come up and flank them from behind while your AIs do some of the full force. Typically what I do though is I'll jump up on this box and get up high with the sniper rifle from Johnson's Pelican. Just plow through the window here. Helps if you make the jump the first try. And from up here, you can get a really good shot on everything else with the sniper rifle. They can't hit you as easily. And it makes the mission, I don't know, I like it. It makes it fun for me. And the same thing goes for the rest of the mission, or well, the next little piece of the mission too. You can engage full force down the middle and just kind of attack them all right through there. Or if you're feeling a little stealthy, you can come around and flank them from inside this building. I always like this little building in here. It reminded me of Destiny. Or you can be like me again and jump up and take the high ground on them. Now the high ground puts you in a good location to come around for another Easter egg. You can find a skull if you follow that little path all the way around. This skull is the Iron Skull, which will make it so that if you die in the campaign, you will be sent back to the very beginning of the mission rather than the last checkpoint. Another advantage of the high ground is you can jump on top of the building Johnson's being held captive in and punch through the windows and let him out before you kill anything.
Cut the power.
Now, like I said, this mission is absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite arenas in any of the Halo games, and it just really brings together a lot of the things I love the most about Halo, where you've got these massive set pieces and some of the scripted things like the Pelican coming in and annihilating these other Phantoms, but the whole thing just feels very Halo, and I like that it feels like a modern building rather than something super futuristic. Like this building could have been built today with no real issues, but that's something that I feel like Halo's forgotten, is that a lot of the human side of things isn't really science fiction, and most of it is just pretty realistic. Like the weapons and stuff, you could have those today. Aside from like spaceships and some of the other vehicles, most of it's all pretty grounded. Also, you can destroy all the windows up there, and I always thought that was neat. It just adds to that interactability. Another Easter egg is, you can do this at any part of the mission, but up on that sniper ledge I was showing you earlier, you can see the final Monkeyman Easter egg, and if you shoot him, you'll get another achievement. And that pretty much wraps up my coverage of CR117. Sorry, I kind of bulldozed through it, but there's a lot to go over, and I didn't want to skip too much of it. But thanks for watching, and if you like this sort of content, feel free to subscribe, and I'll be trying to put out as much as I can. Thanks, and have a nice day.